Welcome back to Ace Attorney 3. We are about to jump into the trial. We're coming up to the end of this case. And yeah, be interesting to see what happens. So let's do this. Good morning, Mr. Wright. I guess you can do that one then.
Good morning, Maggie.
So, what do you think is going to happen today, sir? Yesterday's session didn't go so well and ended on a giant mystery. That's true. We still haven't solved a single part of it yet.
You okay, Nick?
Huh? Oh, yeah, of course. I saw that little flash of doubt in your eyes.
Yeah, because you
No.
fucking killed him.
That wasn't doubt. I'm very certain you did this murder. That was, determination. Why don't I believe you?
It's nearly time, Maggie. Better get going to the defendant's seat.
Roger, don't let me down, Mr. Wright. I'm counting on you.
Hey, pal.
Hey, Detective Gumshoe.
Quit stressing Maggie out. She doesn't need that.
How did you know? How did you know she was stressed?
I was watching through the doorway.
Oh.
You look like you lost the case already. Show a bit of confidence, will you, pal? Here, maybe this'll help.
Huh? Have you taken up aromatherapy too?
Not in a million years, pal. Don't tell me that you don't remember this thing.
Come to think of it, that doesn't look like one of those aromatherapy bottles.
This is the small bottle that turned up in Trebien's kitchen a couple days ago.
Wow, look at all these little bottles. Oh, they're aromatherapy oils. He's got so many. They're overflowing onto the floor. Hey, wait a minute. There's one bottle that's different from all the others. Well, what do you know? It doesn't have a label either. And it doesn't smell.
I finally got the analysis results back from the lab.
So, what is it? Is it the poison?
I'm afraid not, pal. It's medication.
Ah.
That's the medicine that was missing.
Yep. Medication?
Yeah, for ears. Topical use only, apparently.
For ears? You mean...
Yeah, it's the medication Glenn Elg was using for his ruptured eardrum.
What was Glenn Elg's ear medicine doing in the kitchen? What about the unidentified fingerprints? Anything on that?
Someone screwed up, so they had only time to analyze the contents of the bottle. Another hour, and they might have gotten something on the prints, but...
That's going to weaken its impact as a piece of evidence.
Okay, pal. This is it. Make sure your defense is impregnable today. Got it?
Today's trial, I'm going to expose that guy for what he's done, or my name isn't Phoenix Wright.
It's not.
No, that guy's Phoenix Wright. You're wrong. You're the fake.
Exactly. He's the real one.
Court is now in session for the trial of Maggie Bird. Defense is ready, Your Honor.
Ready and waiting, as always, Your Honor.
Very good, then we'll get underway at once. Yesterday, we heard the testimony of Mr. Victor Kudo. He claims to have witnessed the defendant putting a powder into the victim's coffee. However, the witness's testimony was plagued with a number of problems.
Mark on the rim of the cup shows that the victim drank from it with his right hand. But according to the old man's testimony, he picked it up with his left hand.
Thank you, Mr. Godot. Furthermore, according to the witness's account, the victim was listening to the radio with an earpiece in his left ear. Yet the victim's left eardrum was ruptured, which made him effectively deaf in that ear. It's amazing how many contradictions a single case can have, huh, Nick?
Allow me to enlighten you, Your Honor. The world, you see, keeps turning, and we must turn with it.
You've lost me already, Mr. Godot.
Don't let the mysteries of yesterday mystify you today. Only the losers think like that. You've got to change with the times. That's one of my rules.
Are you implying that you've resolved these contradictions? You know the answers to these riddles.
That old guy wasn't just throwing seed in here. He was throwing us off the scent. And today, I'll prove it.
Very well, let the first witness take the stand. Have fun, Waffles.
No. No. This is terrible. And you are? Oh, bonjour, everyone. I'm Jean Armstrong, the owner and the head chef of La Tribulations restaurant. Enchanté.
Forgive me for asking, witness, but are you a woman? Wow. Really uncool, Judge.
Oh la la, monsieur. As you can see, I'm the fine turkey gentleman, no? On the day of the incident, you were in Trebien's kitchen. Isn't that right? Oui, yes, monsieur. Everything feels right.
I'm gonna need another one of these. Wow, he's totally unfazed. Doesn't anything intimidate this guy? Very well, your testimony please, witness. Please tell the court what happened that day at Tribulations.
Oui, volontaire. When it all happened, there were just 2 customers in my restaurant. I remember I was experimenting with some new art decors that day. Like having a large mirror between the tables, for example. Oui, perhaps that is what the old man was looking at. La cup, la earpiece, la glasses. You would have seen everything in reverse, no?
Mirror?
Oui, un grand mirror. The most enormous mirror.
So,
Oh my goodness. Oh, yeah. Why do we even know what's going on anymore?
so Victor was just looking at a mirror, and that's why he saw everything backwards. That's
He's good.
okay.
Yeah. And suddenly, the mystery disappears. Like I said, the world keeps turning, So roll with it.
That would explain the coffee cup and the earpiece conundrum. The mirror would have made everything appear back to front. What the heck? It's way too early in the morning for this to be happening to me. Now then, Mr. Wright, you may begin your cross-examination. Okay, what do we got here? 3, 4, 5. Huh? Sounds about right. It's kind of hard to believe everything's the fault of a mirror, but... Do you think old Seedy saw everything through a reflection? If he did, it would explain all the contradictions in his testimony. But that just makes the situation worse for Maggie. There's gotta be something in that old man's testimony. We've just gotta dig deeper. Okay, so... Gotta push it. Gotta push.
Yep.
And who were the two customers exactly?
Why, of course. The young man who died. And the other, not so young man.
You are referring to yesterday's witness, I presume? What about the other man Maggie says she saw at the table? Something tells me Mr. Armstrong isn't planning to disclose his existence. We need some hard evidence first before we can bring him up, don't we? I guess I'll just have to try a different approach for the time being. You were experimenting with Art Deco? How come I never heard about that before today?
You are not familiar with the language of interior design, monsieur?
Please stay on topic. Now, why didn't you tell the court about this before?
But I did, just a few moments ago.
Excuse me, Mr. Armstrong. This deco you mentioned, are you referring to some sort of
Decoction?
decoction?
Decoction? Decoction.
That's the word I haven't heard of. No, Art Deco, it's a style of design, Your Honor. He's talking about interior design, walls, ceilings, carpets, that kind of thing. Oh yes, of course, that deco.
I was trying to achieve a more effeminate look to my restaurant.
How?
I was planning the most bold remodeling of La Decor.
Hey, that was a waste of time.
Yeah, that.
How big of a mirror are we talking about here?
Oh, something about 4 meters wide and, about 2 meters high.
Let's see, if 1 meter is about 1 yard, only glass in the frame, that's huge.
I was intending to install it on the ceiling eventually.
The ceiling? Is there a mirror on the ceiling? I don't remember.
I know, but I decided not to go through with it in the end.
What should I do? Should I ask him more about the mirror or not? Yeah, why not? If you really had such a large mirror in the restaurant, someone would have noticed it. But there's nothing about a mirror in Mr. Kudo or Maggie Bird's testimonies.
But...
Objection!
You didn't ask right. You have only yourself to blame for such sloppy work.
What?
A mirror was delivered to Tribulations the day before the incident.
Really?
As Mr. Armstrong testified, he was carrying out some design changes. And as it turned out, he didn't actually use the mirror in the end.
This just doesn't add up. Even if a mirror was delivered to Tribulations, it doesn't prove that it was in the restaurant on the day of the crime.
Huh. If you want to doubt someone, Trite, look in the mirror. I'm sure the person looking back at you will be dubious enough.
So the witness yesterday had seen the victim reflected in a mirror. Normally, I'd expect people to know the difference between a reflection and a real object.
Normally? How does normality come into this? That's lame, Trite, even for you.
Huh?
Are you trying to say that if something isn't normal, it isn't possible? Is that it?
Where does that leave the porky-headed lawyer and the top-knot? Oh, that's Godot talking.
Oh yeah.
That
Where
makes
does that
sense.
leave the porky-headed lawyer and the top-knot chick over there? And the ungodly cool guy with the mask over here. Well, Trite.
Ugh, not the hair. I do not have a top knot. Mr. Godot is correct. A lack of normality is no basis for discounting an argument.
Yan, logic has one a day.
Everything? He would have seen everything in reverse.
We.
Hey, Nick, you should take a second to think about what old Seedy said in his testimony. How did he phrase it again? The boy was wearing the earpiece on the same side as the green lens of his specs. No question, you can lock me up if I'm wrong. It was his left ear without a doubt. And then he used the same hand to pick up the cup, his left hand. If he saw everything he described reflected in a mirror, then everything he said he saw on the left was actually on the right, huh? That clears up all the problems with his testimony, I guess. Or does it? Okay, so... Interesting. Let's look through our stuff. Lens autos report. The potassium cyanide poisoning time of death was between 1:30 and 2:30. Blueprints. Hey. Crime photo. Can't really see much in that. Let's go to this. So that's the thing, right? So he wears the HMD over his left eye.
Yeah.
So that so when Victor described it, he said that was on the left, but he also said the earpiece was on the left. So the mirror doesn't fully explain. So I think we need to respond with this. So the mirror doesn't explain that discrepancy, because then he would have seen the eyepiece on the right.
Yeah, I would say push it on that. Or
Yeah, everything in reverse. Yes. Profile. The coffee cup, the earpiece, and the HMD. Let's think back over Mr. Kudo's testimony for a second, shall we? The boy was wearing the earpiece on the same side as the green lens of his specs. No question, you can lock me up if I'm wrong. It was his left ear without a doubt. So, to summarize, we were told both the HMD and the earpiece were on the victim's left side. Now, if Mr. Kudo saw that as a reflection in a mirror, it means both the HMD and the earpiece were actually on the victim's right side.
Exactamente. You see, Monsieur, now that you think about it, it is not so hard, no?
Unfortunately, that's where we run into a monumental contradiction with the facts. If Mr. Kudo really did see everything in a mirror, why is it that the HMD is now on the wrong side of his head? Order, order. Mr. Wright is correct. If the witness genuinely observed the victim reflected in a mirror, then we would expect the victim's eyepiece to have been over his right eye.
Oh, bitter. Troy, you should have a taste of this bitterness. It'll calm you down in no time.
Are we talking about your coffee or something completely different?
You don't understand the way the witness thinks.
How he thinks.
You remember this, I presume.
The I broke the vase sorry apology I mean Mr. Kudo's sworn testimony. Sorry. Fix the camera.
Exactly. The old man has one grievous habit, other than throwing seeds. The more of an impression something makes, the more muddled his mind makes it. And what's the most striking thing about Mr. Elg?
Clearly, it's the victim's eyepiece.
And that's my point. The old man strikes again. Mr. Elg's HMD made a big impression on that old man. I saw the earpiece and those newfangled spectacles he was wearing. Oh yes, they were both on his left ear. Do you hear? His left ear. Well, right.
Ugh, that's the worst, but best impression of Kudo ever. Wow, I really thought he was old seedy for a minute there. Kudo's good. Enough. I must agree that yesterday's witness was irresponsibly rash in much of his testimony. Bad luck, Nick. Looks like the boil of a contradiction you found is just a rash.
A mirror can't be beaten by a handful of seeds, nor can it lie. So, what exactly was the old man looking at? Fill us in, Mr. Armstrong. Go on, tell the court. We're all ears.
Oh, oui, I can explain. Please, if you will look at the plans of the restaurant.
Okay.
Lord, is everybody sitting comfortably? La mirror, it was in the middle of the restaurant, dividing the two halves.
What? That doesn't make any fucking sense.
Why the hell would it be there? Like in the walkway?
That's non. I'm already calling bullshit on this for multiple reasons. One, it would block the walkway, so people wouldn't be able to get through. Two, you wouldn't be able to see the other side of the table through the mirror. It would block your view of it.
Yeah. Oh my
So it just
God.
doesn't. It doesn't make any sense.
Oh man. There is only one seat from which you could have seen an image of the victim.
Oh, that's what he's saying. They saw him through that. Oh my god.
Oh, that's I still call bullshit on that.
Yeah, I don't think it would work that way. I don't think you would see. I don't think that's how that would work. You wouldn't really see that well.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That was the seat at the table, next to the victims. That was where the old man was sitting. After a terrible incident occurred, I moved the mirror, but it was not in the way. But naturally, I did not touch anything else.
I see no problems with the explanation we have just heard. From the table next to the victims, Mr. Kudo could have seen the victim in the mirror.
What a naughty little coquette I am, confusing all the men with like these.
Don't worry about it. We can keep up, except for the guy breaking out in a cold sweat over there again.
Ugh, I hate that guy. You said you didn't touch anything else apart from the mirror. Are you quite sure about that?
Volunteer, of course.
Very well, Mr. Wright. Your cross-examination, if you please. Okay, you say so. He's in the middle. Only see the video. Oh, incident occurred. I moved the mirror. Not get in the way. Yeah, okay, sure. It is pretty strange, though, isn't it? I mean, nobody mentioned anything about a really large mirror. You'd think someone would have, but Maggie didn't, and neither did old CD. And the only logical explanation is that there was no mirror inside Tribulations that day. I've just got to prove it somehow. So, run this by me again. The mirror was here, correct?
Oui.
Really? Because I know if I were you, I wouldn't have put a mirror there. It would be in the way.
Look who's talking, Trey.
Huh?
You're obstructing my view, among other things.
But this is my seat in the courtroom.
Tribulations' charm is that it gives you the impression that you're the only customer.
That's probably because you are, because no one else wants to eat there, because it's
Yeah.
terrible.
You don't need a mirror for that.
Temporarily placing a mirror in that spot would hardly be in the way. Unlike you, Trey.
I tell you, monsieur, the mirror was there in the middle of the restaurant.
So stupid. And where would that be?
Ooh la la, look how you lean towards me. I always attract the younger boys. Maybe I should keep you on a suspense a little longer.
Mr. Armstrong, tell the court what you know at once.
I attract the older ones too. You know, handsome, shall I tease you too?
Ugh.
I'm already seeing a very hot someone, so I'm afraid you'll be waiting for a long time.
I bet she has mocha cream skin and a cappuccino perfume.
Yeah. We'll tell you, there was only one seat from which you could have seen.
So why can you only see the victim from that particular seat?
My monsieur, it is obvious, no? If you look at the plans, you will understand. The victim would have been reflected in the mirror, like so. If you are sitting at the table next to him, you would have seen everything, no?
So that old CD was sitting in on that day. That's the seat old CD was sitting in on that day when the poisoning happened. The old man was sitting at the table next to the victim. Why does that seem kind of odd? Did you move the mirror while Mr. Kudo was off calling the police?
Oui, exactement. I got it out of the restaurant then.
You moved a huge mirror like that all by yourself?
What can I say? I know how to pick things up, handsome.
Kudo actually laughed at something. Well, given this witness's physique, I suppose it is possible. Did you move anything else from the crime scene, Mr. Armstrong?
I look like the blushing type, no?
Are you sure about that?
I touch nothing except that mirror.
Mr. Wright, is there something the witness has said that doesn't match the crime scene? Yeah, there is. I just can't put my finger on what exactly.
Suffering from a case of heartburn, right?
Oh, I've just this thing for that. An oil with golden myrrh and frankincense.
Add a few drops to your coffee, and voila! Enjoy.
Focus, Phoenix. Breathe. I need to ignore those two and just find some evidence. Okay. Okay, so... Let's see. It was on... it seems like there's something here about the seat. So let me see something. Floor plans. That doesn't help.
What about the crime scene photo?
Yeah. So that, I mean, you would absolutely see the mirror. I think it might be this, because you would absolutely see the mirror in this image, for one thing.
Yeah.
And two, this was clearly taken from the, like, seat, like, corner, like, diagonal.
Yeah. Yeah, like opposite to where,
the
like...
scene taken from near the kitchen. Well, it might not have been from the seat, but... so I think that's that.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, none of this would, okay. This piece of evidence contradicts with the testimony we have heard, Your Honor. The crime photo? Yes, this photo clearly shows something that theoretically should not exist. What on earth do you mean by that, Mr. Wright?
Should not exist. Sounds like you're describing yourself, right?
Now then, if the defense would please clarify its statement. What is this something that should not exist in this photo? Oh, interesting. Oh, it should not exist. This friendly one I'm oh, okay. I know what they're going for. We know that Victor knocked over the vase on his table. So if he was sitting at this table, like Armstrong claims, the vase wouldn't be here.
Yeah, you're right.
I think it's pretty obvious that this is what should not be in the picture. The vase? What possible connection does that have with this witness's testimony? Your Honor, I'm telling you that there should have been no face on this table, because it very clearly contradicts with this piece of evidence. When the incident occurred, I broke the face of my seat. I'm sorry. There was one thing that was clearly demonstrated by yesterday's testimony. Mr. Kudo broke the vase that was on the table where he was sitting. And yet, as the court can see, there is an unbroken vase on the table next to the victim. Why? Because Mr. Kudo was not in fact sitting at the table next to the victim at all.
Don't be an idiot, Trey. That's impossible. That seat's the only one Kudo could have seen the victim's reflection from.
Exactly. There is only one conclusion we can draw from this contradiction. There was no mirror in Tribulations that day. The testimony, Mr. Armstrong, is an elaborate lie.
Mon Dieu!
Don't try to confuse the court, Trey. Obviously, the witness cleaned up the vase. While the police were taking their time getting to the crime scene.
Unfortunately, Mr. Godot, that doesn't quite work for me. Mr. Armstrong already testified to the contrary in his own words. I did not touch anything else, except the mirror.
Yeah.
Well, witness, what do you have to say for yourself? I was right. There was no mirror in the restaurant that day. In light of this revelation, we return back to the original problem. Why did the victim have an earpiece in an ear in which he couldn't hear?
You only get one shot in life. There's no turning back. If you want to claim that the mirror wasn't there, Trey, then this problem is all yours. How do you explain what the old man saw?
If I can answer this, then I'll be that much closer to the truth. I can feel it. You're gonna be okay? You really solve this contradiction, Nick? There's more than just this one contradiction, Mom. What do you mean? Remember what Maggie told us? There was another man at the victim's table. And there was a sample CD on the victim's table. It all flies in the face of Mr. Kudo's testimony. And I think I know the reason why nothing in this case is adding up. Well, Mr. Wright, let's hear your answer. Yes, Your Honor. The reason behind all the contradictions in Mr. Kudo's testimony is simple. The victim was a phone. Well, that's not going to help here. Pretty sure. The ear doctor made a mistake. Ear doctor made a mistake. It was. Oh, I mean. If he's saying that it was the right ear was ruptured, not the left ear, so he was wearing the thing in his left ear, and what Kudo saw was actually accurate. We'll try it. See what happens.
Yeah.
I believe we're looking at this the wrong way. It was actually the doctor's mistake. What? Yes, the doctor got the wrong ear.
Well, I believe we saw an autopsy report yesterday.
Yeah, actually, come to think of it, the doctor would have been like, here's some cream. And then it would have been up to the guy to put it in the ear that he was having an issue with, right? Like, the cream isn't ear dependent, so I don't know how this would make sense.
Wanda stated the victim's left eardrum was ruptured and had medicine in it.
I'm beginning to wonder if it's not your eardrum that's ruptured, Mr. Wright. This is no time to be playing with people's perceptions, Nick. I'm sorry, Your Honor. I was the one who made a mistake. I'll give you one more chance, Mr. Wright. Think carefully before you answer this time. Yes, Your Honor. The reason behind... Okay. Obviously, it's the victim was a phony. No, Mr. Kudo made a mistake.
Do it.
No, I'm not gonna do it.
No, victim's a phony!
Maybe I should have. Probably would have been funny. Clearly, Mr. Kudo made a mistake.
Mr. Trey, you're the one who brought up all these contradictions.
And
you're trying to tell us that the old man just made a mistake. We can wrap this up. We can wrap up this case right now with a guilty verdict.
How about it, Mr. Wright? Should I just declare your client guilty? Okay, so here's the thing is, if he's saying like, oh, the thing that confused me about this is it was his testimony that he said that Maggie put the poison in the cup. So if we're saying that his testimony doesn't count, then where's the evidence that she's the one who did anything?
Yeah.
I don't understand what this line of thinking is. Is that the best you can come up with, Nick? Okay, so that actually was wrong. So it was the victim one. I thought that might be the case. I'm sorry, Your Honor. I was the one who made a mistake. Okay. Give you one more chance. Okay, yes, Your Honor. Probably should have saved for those, but fine.
Still so confused by this.
Yeah. That's true. Could be the judge making that decision. This case is riddled with contradictions. Yet there is one very simple answer that clears them all up. And what is that? The incident Mr. Kudo witnessed and the incident the victim experienced were two completely different events.
What?
Yes, the victim that Mr. Kudo saw wasn't Mr. Glenn Elg at all. It was an imposter, a phony pretending to be Mr. Elg. Obviously, unlike the victim, there was nothing wrong with the imposter's left eardrum. So he ended up wearing that earpiece in his left ear by mistake.
Huh.
Yeah, I don't know. Order in the court. Settle down or I'll clear the courtroom.
Why, Gramps? Why don't you clear out of here, huh?
What did you say?
Right. Are you saying that what Mr. Kudo saw was a setup?
Yes. Someone pretended to be Glenn Elg and acted out the whole coffee poisoning. All for the express purpose of creating a witness out of one Mr. Victor Kudo.
A real trite. Why would anyone want to do that?
Isn't it obvious? The thing Mr. Kudo was most insistent about in his testimony was... The servant girl brought him a Javachino, but she put something in it. That's the servant girl right there in the defendant's chair. I remember her well. It's so hard to believe, but... There was one and only one reason to show Mr. Kudo this fake poisoning. To show Maggie Bird in the act of poisoning the coffee.
Are you insinuating that the waitress in the old man's story was a fake as well? It's true that there were no other customers in the restaurant at the time, but... It's also true that the chef was there. He would have noticed what was happening.
That's right. Well, witness? If your restaurant really was the scene of such theatrics, you would have known about it, correct?
Ooh la la, this is the most difficult for me.
No, it's quite simple. All you have to do is testify. You are under oath, after all. Was there, in fact, a phony entry bien that day? The defense demands that Mr. Armstrong tell the whole truth about what happened. The defense's request for additional testimony is accepted. You will accurately explain in detail the events in the restaurant that day.
Oui.
I have no idea what the fuck's going on anymore.
I'm lost. Okay. La victime, Monsieur Elg, came to the restaurant alone. I remember the old man arrived not long after him. There were no other customers. When he got word he won La Loterie, Mon Elg became very excited. It was approximately 5 minutes later that the poisoning incident occurred. None. There was no time for a phony to do the acting.
Just so we're clear, there was no mirror in the restaurant after all?
Je vous demande pardon. Forgive me, Your Honor. I lied because I wanted this mess to be cleared up quickly.
What you have just done is commit perjury, Mr. Armstrong. I will decide how to punish you later.
Oui.
For now, we will hear your cross-examination, Mr. Wright, if you please. He took that perjury charge a bit too well. But I'm guessing he'll be in more serious trouble after this cross-examination. Okay, let's look at what we got. You can't. Came to the restaurant. No. Lottery. 5 minutes later, poisoning. No funny. I guess Mr. Armstrong is connected to this case, huh? Absolutely. Someone was impersonating Mr. Elk, and I refuse to believe he was oblivious. He was there the whole time, after all. And if you're right, wouldn't Maggie have noticed too? She fell unconscious when the incident occurred, remember? Ah, you mean that's when the phony staged his act? I'll know for sure once I find a hole in his testimony. Okay, let's start pressing. Is he alone at his table as well?
My oui. I saw him from Lucky Shed.
Yet the defendant, Miss Bird, remembers it differently. He swears there was another man at the victim's table.
Unfortunately for you, Troy, yesterday's witness also testified that the victim was alone. You know, seeing you squirm like that reminds me of a certain coffee's bittersweet bite.
What kind of coffee has he been drinking? It's not coffee, it's love. It's love that's bittersweet. During my essay, that makes her seem wise all of a sudden. Okay, old man arrived not long after. By old man, you mean Victor Kudo, correct?
Oui, he comes often for my special coffee.
I drank your coffee once, Mr. Armstrong. It's special, I'll give you that. It's worth a sip just for the experience.
Oh, you make me so happy, monsieur. You are most welcome anytime.
Said it was worth one sip, and nothing more.
So old Mr. Kudo arrived at the restaurant around the same time as the victim. Maybe I should ask about his arrival in more detail. What time was it? Out of curiosity, about what time was it when Mr. Kudo arrived?
Oh no, I cannot remember, monsieur.
I believe we were told by a witness yesterday.
The crime was reported at 2:25 by a kind of scary old man, sir.
Does that perhaps jog your memory, witness?
The incident happened about 20 minutes after he arrived. So the victim must have arrived between 2 p.m. and 2:10 p.m., no?
Just after 2, huh?
Thank you for your help. In jogging my memory, monsieur. You are wonderful.
I can't sit here all the time and do nothing now, can I? The time of day will be added to the witness's testimony.
Oui, monsieur judge. Everything I do it for you.
Merci bien. That's French, isn't it? Ha ha ha. Well, at least one person is in a good mood. He's even humming a song to himself. Okay, so just after 2 p.m. So I think that's going to end up being what we have to contradict, because I remember Victor said that he just took a while to find a payphone.
Yeah.
So if the incident happened like 20 minutes after he showed up, it would have been it wouldn't have been reported until like 2:40, right? 2:30,
Yeah, so
2:40.
like
I
around
think the
there,
time
yeah.
is off. But we're gonna keep pushing. I think that's where we're headed. Are you absolutely sure about the time?
But I think really hard. I'm sure it was just after 2. Oui. At that time, I stopped serving the lunch menu.
Quite right. I always break for lunch when the restaurants are serving their specials. I've been known to wind up a case early just to make it on time. Aha!
Yeah, I just
I
say
guess-
they're guilty.
Yeah, right. I guess you should never get between a hungry judge and his lunch. Oh, would you look at that? It's almost lunchtime already. Witness, get on with your testimony, please. So no other customers. So your only customers are Mr. Kudo and the victim.
How many times do you need to ask the same thing, Trey? You'd never catch me drinking the same blend twice.
Huh?
You're trying to establish the presence of a phony victim in the restaurant. But you're wasting your time. You can't grind birdseed to make coffee, if you catch my drift.
But there's a hole in his testimony somewhere. I'm sure of it. Okay. I got one. Okay, won the lottery. Did you see him?
No, I was in the kitchen. I heard him. I remember I'm shouting, yes, $500,000.
Presumably, the defender heard that too. Then, correct?
Maggie? You look like a poor little frightened dove.
And what about Mr. Kudo?
The old man choked on some birdseeds that got stuck in his throat.
It seems we now have yet another incident on our hands. Okay, 5 minutes. And what were you doing at that point? Without any customers, you must have had time to kill.
I'm a multi-talented woman, monsieur.
Sorry, what do you mean?
There is a renowned chef, Jean Armstrong, and la tragic poet, Clarice Armstrong.
Clarice?
Oui, I was writing a poem, an angry tale of a chef in $500,000 in debt. Looking for a man who's won $500,000 in the lottery. It is called Por qué? It means why. Perhaps I could recite it for la court.
Please don't.
Yeah, please don't, dear God.
Okay, last line. Go. You mean you contacted the police as soon as the incident occurred?
I saw old man took off from la payphone.
Yeah.
But your own argument, Trey. The purpose of this phony's victim's performance was so the old man could see it. In other words, once the incident occurred, its opportunity would completely disappear.
Indeed.
Yeah, and it seems la shadow of doubt has been lifted. N'est-ce pas?
Okay, so he saw absolutely. I believe he was oblivious. Okay. Okay, so. That is. We're gonna. I think I know where we want to contradict, but we are going to do that next time. This one's actually going on a little long. So yeah, we will next time we will come back to this and we will contradict him on this and get to the bottom of this.